Welcome into 270 weather for this Monday. It is September the 15th, and it got really warm today, in case you didn't know. I'll show you the numbers in a minute. It got warmer than what we had forecasted to be. Just, yeah. So, your air conditioning system probably had to do some work overtime today because it did get into the low 90s, and in some cases it even got close to the mid 90s, and we might do that again tomorrow, although may have to talk about some sneaky showers coming in the meantime. If you need attention on your cooling system, then you need to call R&R Controls. We are 1 week away from fall and 1 week away from what I see may be sort of a transition into more fall like weather. It's kind of hard to tell at this point because the forecast patterns have been very elusive. And one of the reasons why today ended up being warmer than what was predicted is because not only the combination of the dry air and the high pressure, but the dry ground. Everything is dry. High fire danger, of course. The drought continues, all of that. And until we get some beneficial rain in here, it is going to be like this. So, what uh, I would encourage you to do is before we transition into fall and before the much cooler air gets here, because it will, you need to have your system checked. And so call R&R Controls and have them come out and just do a look around, check out your system, make sure that everything is working like it should in this transition from summer to fall. Because once it happens, and then all of a sudden it gets really chilly, you're going to be like, I put off calling them and I should have had them come out when they were available to come out and take a look at my heating and cooling system. You don't want to wait till it's too late. So give R&R Controls a call and schedule a time when they can come out and take a look. 270-777-2024. Again, that number, and I do this so you'll remember it, 270-777-2024. With R&R Controls, you'll never be without. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome into 270 weather. It is Monday. It is September the 15th, and I'm Chris Allen with not only your 270 weather, but beyond the scope and the limits of the 270 area code. That includes the 502, the 606, and everything else that's in there. Oh, by the way, where did I put? Oh, there it is. I know I'm really really proud of this and just have to show it off a little bit more. This this is a close up of the KBA Mike Hall of Fame award that I won last night. Well, let's put it this way. I knew it was coming, but last night was the actual induction ceremony into the Kentucky Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. And that's what they give you. Um, it's heavy. And it's what I like about it is they actually got a mic. I mean, This is like a real microphone that you can buy that's kind of retro style. But look, it has an on switch and an off switch. That's a real switch. Turn it on, turn it off. I mean, it's not hooked up to anything, as you can see, but I mean, this thing weighs, it's got some pounds to it. But I'm really, really super proud of this. And gosh, I mean, if somebody had told me years ago that this would happen, I probably would have laughed at them and, said, "Yeah, oh, I don't know." But it's very humbling. It is also awkward. It's just awkward for me. It's just stuff like this is awkward. I mean, I love it. I appreciate it, and I'm so grateful and thankful for it. But it just puts me in a really, like, I don't know. I was watching, and I encourage you to watch the video. Now, here's the thing, last night, when they tell me that it's time to go backstage and then go up on stage to get that award, there's a certain time that it happens and there's certain cues. Well, I missed my cue. I mean, so one of the producers had to come out with their headgear on and they're talking, they're in the black, dressed in black, and they got their microphone. They're like, "Mr. Allen, you need to go backstage. Come on, come on." And I'm like, "Oh crap." You know, and they're starting to talk about me. And by the time I got behind the set, they started running my 7-minute video. 7-minute video. I thought, "Oh my God." So I didn't get to see any of it when they were actually giving out the awards last night at KBA. I didn't get to see it until this morning when they sent me a copy of it, which I posted, by the way, on my Facebook page, where you can go there and watch it if you want 7 minutes of your life that you can't get back watching. But I'm like, where did they find all of these pictures and videos? I mean, they did their homework. And of course, they came to the studio months ago and shot video of me in the weather center telling my story. But then when I watched the video back today, I'm just like, "Who is this?" And it's like, "Oh, that's me." Uh my daughters told me today that it just tore them up. And yeah, I get emotional during the video. It's all just, I thought it was just so well done. Uh, Thank you to Sue and team at BAM, BAMM. BAM is the company that put it together. And in fact, they produced the whole KBA show, which was not on television. It's one of those, things that if you're there, if you're at the KBA convention, you get to see it. You get to see everybody's video that got an award. There were four of us that got an award, and there is one person that I did not get to see or talk to that is actually in my past. She also won a Hall of Fame Mike Award, and that's Nancy Cox. Some of you may remember her as an anchor in Lexington. And Nancy Cox, I was going to go up to her last night, but I had to leave and I didn't get to see her. I didn't get to see her presentation either. But she actually started at a very small TV station that used to be in Campbellsville called WGRB Channel 34. And I was there in 1984 at 5 when she was still she was just out of high school, I think, and she wanted to be a TV anchor. And I started recording news segments for her, and it was the very first time she was ever on TV. Yeah, that was me that did that with her. And now she's also on the same night a KBA Hall of Fame inductee. So I'm gonna try to get a hold of Nancy. She is a Campbellsville native, and we haven't talked to each other in probably 30 years. But I was so proud of her last night for getting that same award. So yeah, if you've ever watched Nancy Cox in Lexington, she's now off television, but very well deserved for her as well. And it's just one of those nights where my head is just still spinning. I'm like, did all this really happen? Or did I watch a movie of myself? And it's just really, it's almost like the old TV show, This Is Your Life, you know? But man, so cool. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get on with the weather and see what's going on. Yes, today did get warmer than expected. And as I just mentioned in the preface here before the R&R Controls commercial, um, there's a reason for that. It's because high pressure and the atmosphere is dry, and so is the ground. And so when the sun is up, and at this time of the year, the sun angle and all of that with the dry ground, it really accentuates the dryness in the air and helps elevate temperature. So, um, in a lot of ways, I undercut the high temperature for today. I think I went with 90 and it got up to 94. So, in the next few days, without any rain in the forecast, I'm going to have to probably step that up just a few degrees to make up that difference. But 94 is where we landed here at the airport in Bowling Green today. And that is 11 degrees above the normal of 83. So, yeah, 11 degrees warmer than normal. 64 was our low temperature. And of course, no rainfall at all past 24 hours. All right. Here's a look at radar. The current time is 7:22 on this September 15th. Nothing around here. There was some kind of false echoes around us, but nothing really materializing. The only rain nearby today was some of this over here. Now, you go into western Tennessee and parts of Arkansas, they've had some pretty good. In fact, they're getting a really good thunderstorm down in Brownsville, not Kentucky, but Tennessee. That's just outside of, well, it's in between Jackson and Memphis on Interstate 40, if you're headed down that way. But nothing even close around here. Doggone it. It's those bully high pressures. Yep, which I'll show you in just a moment. Let's go to the rain chances in the coming days, and still not much hope here. Little has changed in this forecast. And remember, this is a 1 to 7 day QPF, that stands for quantitative precipitation forecast. In other words, the quantity or collection of rain, the amount of rain collectively over a 7 day period amounts to this. Now, at any one point, somebody could get more than what's projected here for a 7 day spread, but generally speaking, it's not going to be much more than this. Now, if we could get some of that offshore moisture that's out in the Atlantic that's throwing some of its moisture back into the Delmarva region, Virginia, North Carolina. It's not a tropical system, but it is a low pressure system that's kind of throwing that moisture back into the mainland. If we could get some of that, that would be great. But you know what separates us? Yes, you would be correct if you said the mountains. Yes, that's a problem. Or look at southern Florida. Boy, they're really getting the rain. Or look at the plains. Yeah, they're getting the rain. But we're in the doldrums right now. And There may be signs that that's changing for the upcoming weekend, but in the meantime, it is what it is. It's the end of summer, and we're just, you know, we can't buy a raindrop. It's just going to be that way for a little bit longer. Let's check some of the conditions now. We go to the Kentucky Mesonet, as always, to check what's going on at the moment and what's happened today with the numbers. Here at 7:25 p.m., we have 70s and 80s. There is a 68 right now in Burkesville. The reason why it is 68 there and it's 80 in Edmonton and Metcalfe County, and they're, well, 79, it just dropped, is because, well, the sun's down, and that particular sensor, Kentucky Mesonet sensor or weather station, is setting at a lower altitude, and it's near the river. And so at this time of the night and in early in the morning, it reads cooler than most other stations because a lot of those stations are at a higher elevation. So they get the sun angle better, they get the warmer air better. That one station down in Burkesville, that always reads a little cooler than everybody else. These are the high temperatures or the daily maximum high at all of our Mesonet reporting stations. 80s pretty much to the east, 90s here in Warren County, and even some mid 90s today. Look at that, 95 was the high temperature reading today at the Kentucky Mesonet site in Greenville in Muhlenberg County. That's the highest temperature. Well, Ohio County, Hartford also hit 95 for a high today. Low temperatures, if you want to see that, were in the 60s this morning, and it looks like we'll be there again tomorrow morning. Winds right now are light and variable, and that's pretty much the way they've been all day today. Okay, let's go to the maps, see if we can find some rain. I know it's not gonna be an easy thing to do. Now, to look at this map, you would think, well, look, we have an intersection here of a somewhat quasi stationary front and a disturbance and a low pressure system. But notice the pressure around the low pressure system is at 1017 millibars. That's not very strong at all. It's there, but it's not enough to produce a lot of rain or really any rain. High pressure is much stronger than that low, and these little lines here, these disturbances. Now back to the west, there are some indications of showers, and then these are the showers I showed you on the radar down between Jackson and Memphis, Tennessee. And there's a low pressure system there that's a bit stronger than the one that's over Kentucky. It's at 1016 millibar. And the high pressure is at 1022 millibar. So, you know, the high pressure is winning out every single time. And that's why I call it a bully, the wall of high pressure, fending off any good chance of rain for us. So these little waves, short waves, disturbances, they try to come in this trough. It just doesn't, there's nothing there to really hang on to. So the moisture comes in, tries to at least, but it never really produces anything. Look at the east. Here again, the Delmarva region, Virginia, North Carolina, they're getting the benefit of this low pressure system, and it's throwing that moisture into their area. But again, here are the Alleghenies, there's the Cumberland Plateau, there's the Smoky Mountains. All of that is going to limit how much moisture from this can get thrown over our direction. So don't count on that. I wish we could, but I don't see it happening. Some fog, patchy, late tonight, early tomorrow. Here is 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. There has been some indication that a little sneaky shower or two could pop in, but I'm just not real confident about that. And look, on either side of us, there's moisture. West, then east. And here we are, stuck in the middle with you, like the song says. And look, there's another little trough, little bend, but nothing happening because there's high pressure sitting right there, keeping it away from us. Here's Wednesday. Oh, come on. Load the fronts. There we go. Let me see. Okay, so here's Tuesday, Wednesday, still nothing. Thursday, still nothing. High pressure still there. Friday. Now, this is where we began to see maybe some change coming. Notice that the high pressure ridge does, even though it's at 1020 millibars, it is weakening at this point and will start to scoot out to the east a little more. If we can just get this away from us a little more, then this to the west will start to move in along with a cold front as we head into the weekend. Here's Saturday. Now, there is a nice junction here as we go to the north, area of low pressure over Iowa, and occlusion, a bending back and a wrapping around itself area of low pressure, and then two sort of quasi-stationary fronts, one to the north, one to the west, and another area of low pressure out in Oklahoma. This is on Saturday. This may provide us the best chance of rain that we've seen in a while. And there's even some hint that there could be enough of a bend in the trough that we could see a few strong storms, maybe Saturday afternoon, but it's too soon to say for sure. Here is Sunday morning. Notice that the low is to the north. That is a kind of an anomaly high pressure there, but you see the entire state is covered with rain on Sunday. And then we go into Monday, same thing. Boy, if we can keep this trend going, then maybe we can get out of the drought situation, which by this coming Thursday we'll get an update, and it's more than likely going to show that the drought has gotten worse for our area. I just see it getting worse before it gets any better. Now, what about the long range forecast beyond 7 days? Here's a look at the blend of models, and we're going to keep it warm next few days. I may even, like I said earlier, I may just bump this up a little bit more. The blend of models showing 91 tomorrow. We hit 94 today. Unless we do get some pop-up sneaky showers tomorrow, it could go back to 93, maybe 94 instead of 91. Low 90s through the rest of the week into the upcoming weekend, but here is that better chance of rain. And even from yesterday, these numbers have come up a little. Now, that could be just an adjustment because of the here and now and the warmer temperatures than what was forecast. And some of the models may be making some adjustment. But once you get this far out, then you're talking about mainly the GFS, the general forecast model, or the global forecast model. And you could be looking at, the European, there's a version of the European model which can go out this far. And there may be some of the AI modeling, which I don't really like right now. I think at times it still throws things off, but yes, artificial intelligence, there is some of that modeling that gets thrown in here and could be throwing some of this off and running it a little warmer than what we were looking at yesterday. But I mean, it's fall will be here and it's going to fall. First official day is Monday and it is coming. We just got to hang on. I think this is going to be one of those times when summer just does not want to let go. So there's the 7-day forecast as seen on the News 40 weather app and at WNKY.com. And you see the better rain chances coming in for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Otherwise, we're going to keep it in the 90s the next few days. All right. That's it for this Monday, September 15th. Thank you for watching 270 Weather. Anytime you need to see the forecast, uh, I can't get in. There it is, right there. Right there. Scan that QR code. That is the News 40 weather app that you can just hold your phone up to it, scan that, and you can get the weather anytime you want to and take it with you wherever you go. Doesn't matter. I took it up to Alaska and it was giving me the weather in Alaska and the Yukon and Denali. I mean, it gave me everything. Yes, the News 40 weather app can do that. You just tell it to follow you wherever you go. It uses your phone's GPS to see your location, and it will bring you the local forecast, radar, everything, where you are, anywhere in the world. It can do that. It's not just a Southern Kentucky thing. It can go anywhere with you. All right. You guys have a great evening. Thank you, as always, for watching 270 Weather. Have a great Monday evening.